We're locked in, rocking and rolling. What is up, Foots?
Yo, Joe Rizzle, what's up, buddy? How you, man?
We're good, man.
Um, it's that time, man. So many things are happening. 30 visits. You've been hitting the 30 visits hard, Joe. I go to your page for that info, so shout out to you. I've been doing a bunch of draft, um, more or less draft scenarios. I'm uploading a mock now. Then we both said we're getting kind of mocked out. You mocked out, Joe?
Yeah. We're kind of getting on the last. We're on the how would you say the homeward stretch, man. We're down to it. We've been covering these guys since January. So
Yeah.
I mean, we've been hitting it hard. Every week. I mean, we're putting out a lot of good content for everybody and mock drafts, that kind of thing. It's fun. But at this point, you kind of know where the Cowboys are kind of looking at, with all these guys that they're bringing in. So,
Yeah, I mean, so here's the thing. What we're trying to do is just get people prepared. Like, I don't want people to take these picks that me, you, a couple of other YouTubers I see doing mocks. Don't take them to heart and like unsubscribe or like curse us.
right.
You know what I mean? It's one of those things that, again, we're just doing these exercises. I don't know if fans realize, but the Cowboys, they do mock drafts.
Right.
They read up on mock drafts. They're somebody. There may be a Cowboys GM or there may be somebody in that building watching these videos. You don't know. You know what I'm saying, Joe? So all of these tools, instruments, these exercises, they're resources to see what's the feel. They may like how a guy talks, how a guy breaks somebody down,
Yeah.
all of these things. So these are just exercises, Joe. You know that, and fans. So we're just opening the door for dialogue, and that's what we need to have because we need to be prepared if the Cowboys do something and it's like, oh crap, that took us. Nobody was ready for that. So
That's a really good point, man. And I was actually thinking about this morning on my morning drive. I was thinking about, man, how many times have the Cowboys done that to us where every fan gets fixated on somebody. Every fan gets fixated on a pet cat, somebody that they really like. And then when the draft comes, hearts are smashed and broken. And people are just uproar like, what the heck? What are we doing? Why did we draft that guy? You know what I mean? So
think about last year, Joe. Tack. I thought for sure it was Tack McKinley.
right.
And he goes on board and it's like, oh crap. I thought it was Charles Harris for sure. And he goes off the board and you're like, oh no. You know what I mean, Joe?
Yeah, we're starting to get wiped out. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Right. So then it's like, oh, for sure, JJ Watt's little brother. Come on. We know that player. No? You know what I mean?
That's exactly how it happens, man. You guys gotta be ready. Don't get fixated on a player, because we all do it. We all get fixated on somebody, and it always happens, man.
It always happens, Joe. And then before you know it, I wouldn't say we're stuck with Taco because, I remember I covered him, and I liked a lot of things about Taco. So if you had been on our page or on my page, he does some things, and he came on late. So just give it a chance. Give it a chance with these picks. And I think, Joe, we both said like this whole year, it's GM, McClay, coach, player, personnel. I got to see it from everybody because last year we got so high, especially with like the Switzer pick. I'll admit, I'll raise my hand.
Mm-hmm. Right there with you.
With the Switzer, and then obviously the corners panned, but then Switzer, they didn't use him right. It didn't really work. It's like maybe we'll have Cole and Switzer on the field. That was a dud.
Yeah,
and
never
then,
happened.
never happened. And then X Woods panned out, but then actually thinking about it, X Woods, that was really like a really solid pick, especially if he can like be your starting free or however you want to play him. So, but we're saying all this to say like it's not gonna happen how we think. They could draft Minka Fitzpatrick. We don't know, you know.
Yeah.
So
it really is. It really is that. And man, really, talking about the 30-day visits, that kind of dovetails into that conversation. They really are leaving no stone unturned. They're looking at all the positions, so really everything's on the table. The Alabama guys, Deron Payne, Ridley, Rashawn. All these guys, Taven Bryan from Florida. They're looking at all of the Will Hernandez, James Daniels. Really, I don't see how a fan could really get mad at a pick that these guys make, just because the guys that they're bringing in here, man, I love it, man. I love these guys that they're taking a look at. I think all of them will be impact players, man, day one, any of them.
Ronnie Harrison.
Mm-hmm.
Come on. Ronnie Harrison, there's fans who, if you go back to when I did a scouting report on Harrison, he was like either my second scouting report.
Yeah, I remember. That was one of your first ones.
Yeah, and then I did and there's fans who were standing on the table for him at 19, Joe. So what changed? You know what I'm saying? Like, what happens in the draft is, and during this time, you got to watch yourself. We all have to watch over-evaluation. You start watching a guy, or you start just pushing guys up because you got hit to him late in the process. So you're like, now Leighton Vander Esch is better than Rashaan Evans. And it's like, no. He's good. He also played in the Mountain West, which, come on. It's not the SEC.
That's what I'm saying, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, all that, you got to take all that into account. So
he seems more like a projection to me. 1 year of, whatever you want to call it. It wasn't great play. it was good, but it wasn't. His film just does not pop off, man. Like Rashaan and,
Dude, Rashaan and Roquan. So Roquan freed up. I want him if he's not my middle, if he's not taking on blocks. Roquan is like, he's so fast, and like you said, finish is outstanding.
Right.
But Rashaan Evans, dude, I just want a guy who teams like, this guy is going to blow your head off.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and he's not so out of. Remember Ernie Sims?
Yeah, Detroit. Yeah.
He was with Dallas for a little bit, and he was a good hitter. He just would like whiff on tackles and didn't take good angles and was all over the place.
Yeah.
This isn't what Rashaan Evans like. He's still a good football player. He just finishes so well, dude.
Yeah, he does.
We haven't had that, Joe. We haven't had a player who just wants to crush other. Like, dude, man. So, but tight ends today, Joe. We hitting tight ends.
Yeah, we're gonna cover some tight ends today just to get reacquainted with it. It's kind of one of those positions that we're, kind of just like you and I have talked about. The Cowboys, they keep drafting these tight ends. They stick around. They finish their rookie contract, and they're out of here. It's like we develop tight ends for other people. So I almost feel, and I don't know how you feel about it, Foots, but for me, I feel like I don't want to draft a tight end. Not right now. Not till Jason's officially out of here.
So, like, in a perfect world, you would like to have a guy who can learn from Witten. The problem is, we've know that Witten won't let other guys get reps, won't let other players get reps. And he's getting the Dirk Nowitzki treatment. He's not.
It's a good one.
He's not a terrible player at all, but he gives you two routes. Maybe a skinny post on a good day, but he can't separate anymore. I said it was 2 years. They're 2 years behind the 8 ball line. Jason Witten just isn't a threat. It's just honest, but he's old man Witt. He's the All-American. He's the guy that Cowboys fans love. Witten. Well, You know, you cut on the tape. It's a false start here. It's a hold there. And I'm not. Listen, I'm not. Jason Witten has been the most consistent Cowboy since I can, like, really, since I go back and, I mean, he's been there, what, 13 years, Joe? Something like that?
Since 14 or, I mean, 2003,
Yeah.
so he's going on year 15, I think, now, 16, I think. Yeah.
Parcells drafted him, so, I mean.
One of the last ones, man.
Yeah, great. Ones. Third round, Tennessee. So, it's one of those things that's like, you know, Witten, love him, but it's over. It's over. But the problem with that is, like, you could really get at 19, you could get the best tight end in the draft. And we'll get to these guys, but with the Cowboys, are they going to give him a chance? Are they going to let a guy develop? Is it so? Be interesting, so.
Yeah, it'll be interesting, you know. But, you know, there are tight ends here that could help the Cowboys, and you never know. It's like we said, they could pull a rabbit out of the hat and take a guy. You know, it could be one of these second-round deals. For a while, the Cowboys seem to be drafting tight ends in the second round. You know, that was like the running joke. Like, here we go, here comes a tight end. So, you never know. Yeah. But as far as, what about you, Fuss? Who do you have? Who's your favorite tight end, man? Who do you like in this tight end class?
So I'll give my top 5, Joe, and maybe closer to the draft, Joe. I know, so we've been trying to get together for, like, more consistent huddles. We're trying to get to 2 a week. We just both are doing a lot of content and schedules, but maybe we can do, like, some more rankings, Joe, just to get everybody super familiar with the players and scouting. But so my top 5, I'm going to go Dallas Goedert 1. I just love the player. South Dakota State, can do it all. Really uses his body well and isn't a bad blocker. I like Mark Andrews. I'm a Mark Andrews guy. I like Gesicki, but I think he's solely like a passing threat, more of a getting away blocker. Same with Hayden Hurst. So you could probably pair them as like 3-4, either way you want. But I like Mark Andrews. I like Goddard, Andrews, Gesicki. Even though he blew up the combine, I still got to trust the tape and what I've seen on him. I like Hayden Hurst, but he's like really like a just getting away blocker. And you know Dallas likes to use their tight ends in line. Yeah. So you have that some type of ability. That was a problem with Escobar. He just wasn't physical at all. And then to round it up, I like Troy Fumagalli and Ian Thomas. Those are 2 names to keep an eye on, maybe in the 4th. But then, you know, we still have Rico, who just pretty much is trying to learn how to play the game. So, just one of those things, Joe. But that's my 5-6 tight ends. Those are my 5 to 6 tight ends who I think are really good players. And, you know, again, if Dallas wants to draft Dallas Goedert, he'll be there at 19 for sure.
No doubt.
You know, I mean, it's not even a question.
Absolutely. That would be one of those picks where people might be like, what? But, I mean, be ready. They did meet with him. They met with him at the combine, so, you know, there is some level of interest there with him. Whether or not he's a 30 visit, we'll see. But obviously there is some interest there. But I like those guys. I think Hurst is one of my favorite guys. He has a lot of traits. Kind of reminds me of a Kelsey type of player. Has some swagger to him. I don't think he's the tallest player if I remember his measurements. But I mean,
Hurst is. Yeah, well, he's 6'5", but these could be wrong. So. Hurst is 6'5", so he has good size. Yeah.
So, and the other guys I like Gesicki as well. I think I like him a little bit more than you, but you do make a good point as far as, you know, almost like a one-trick pony kind of guy. Just gets in the way and then gets down the field.
They're both better route runners than Mark Andrews.
Yeah,
sure. They're both more loose than Andrews. I'll give you that. I just think Dallas won't. Yeah, we on the same page, Joe.
I do like Durham Smythe out of Notre Dame. You know, not just because those are my guys, but I like him in the run blocking game, and he has some catching ability to him. So I think for him, he would be almost like a Jeff Swain kind of guy who can block for you, but he can catch for you as well. So the Cowboys, they might do some churning there at tight end, but like you said, we do have Rico Gathers, and he looked like he was gonna be somebody, man, until Frazier knocked him out, literally.
Yeah.
So
yeah. No, facts, Joe. Yeah, I don't know what that was about. So yeah, you're spot on, Joe. You're the insider when it comes to these 30 visits. You've been knocking those out the park. Who I know, like, so the 30 visits, I know they're not like public knowledge. You just kind of you got to kind of like dig or find out.
Yeah.
Have any of these guys been on a visit? Are they scheduled? I know you brought up who did you just bring up? Was it Goddard? They talked to him at the Senior Bowl.
Yeah.
Who else?
Tight ends.
Yeah.
Let me see what else we got. I can take a
Not to put you on the spot.
Yeah, they did meet with Marcus Ball, the Ohio State tight end. He's more of a blocking tight end out of Ohio State. And then they met with David Wells. They had a private workout with him. He's San Diego State, so he's another one that they have interest in. But they haven't really, met with a bunch of them as far as a 30 visit. Nothing official. They met with Hurst, Goddard at the Combine, and Ball. So that's it right now, man.
Okay.
Not many tight ends.
Okay. Now I just wanted to hear your thoughts. I mean, like, if Dallas is digging, if they're kind of keeping it under wraps, or what's the deal with that?
Yeah, and some of these names they'll start trickling out. There's a bunch that have already been revealed, but they got about 2.5 weeks more worth of visits that they're gonna have. So some more names will come out, I'm sure.
No, definitely, because they'll keep a couple open, I was hearing, so they won't use all 30. Maybe they'll keep a couple open, so we'll see.
Yeah, they were saying Dak was one of the final ones the year that they drafted him in 2016. He was one of the final ones that came in, so pretty interesting how these things can play out.
Yeah, they turned over a lot of quarterbacks during that draft class, like the quarterbacks that they obviously brought in. So, okay, Joe, I wanted to do some draft, and I guess I'll ask you the questions. You normally get us home, but I wanted to do, so those are the tight ends, guys. Put a bow on that, more or less. Joe, I want to ask you some draft scenarios, and I want to ask you more likely. So I want you to put a percentage on it. Like, would this happen or would this not?
All right,
Joe, give me a percentage, more likely or less likely. What round the Cowboys will draft a quarterback in the 5th round? More likely, less likely.
In the 5th round, I would say more likely. 5th round is probably where you would take a look at somebody.
Okay.
I don't think they want to use too much of a premium pick on one. 5th round, they've typically busted on the 5th round, so I think they might throw something at it.
Okay. Joe, the Cowboys are more likely to trade up in the top of the 2nd or the top of the 1st? To get to the top of the 1st or the top of the 2nd?
I think they would move more to the top of the 2nd.
Okay.
Yeah, the way that things are looking right now, who they're bringing in, it looks more likely that they're going to stay, maybe bail if a good enough deal comes on board. But yeah, I at this point, I don't see them moving up. But you never know, man. You just never know. But moving up in the 2nd round, I could definitely see that happening. There, they could, package in some of those 4th and 4th round picks if they want to move up. Maybe a future pick for next year move up. Yeah, they could do that. I mean, I could see like a DeMarcus Lawrence type of deal, for sure.
Somebody that they really like that slipped through the cracks.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, yeah, because that's typically the round you want to do that. If, let's say,
that's where they roll the dice, man. 2nd round, they roll the dice like crazy, man. We know it. We absolutely know that that's what they do.
They do, Joe. Who would have to be there for you? I'm trying to think of a player who could slip that Dallas would really like. I just can't really think right now. We do all these mock drafts and we can't. Let's say a guard. Let's say, nah, that wouldn't happen. I was gonna say, let's say Will Hernandez. He wouldn't slip. Maybe if they went linebacker one, Will Hernandez just was sitting there, or if not, what if? Okay, Joe, got it. What if Isaiah Wynn was sitting there, top of the first? I mean, top of the second.
Maybe, yeah. I mean, he would probably be rated high on their board, I would imagine. You know, we haven't heard if they're going to bring him in for a 30 visit, but he would be one for sure, man. That they would have to probably think about it.
Okay. Oh, they're interested in Isaiah Wynn. I know that for a fact. 30 visit or not, they'll do their homework on this player. Okay, Joe, I got a fastball for you. More likely to dangle his trade bait: Cole Beasley, David Irving.
I would say David Irving.
Okay.
David Irving, David Irving. The Cowboys, they want trade bait. They gotta have somebody good. So David Irving, DeMarcus Lawrence, those guys. These other guys, low bit guys, they're not gonna get anything out of it. They might be able to package them and pick up another 6th rounder or something. But Beasley and Williams, they have no trade value.
Yeah. You fans out there may think that you can get like a 3rd or 2nd for Williams, but there's no way. He was a 3rd round pick, and he hasn't. He's been a good player. He just hasn't. I don't even think he had a 1,000-yard season though. He's most like 700 or something.
For me, Williams is a backup playing in a starter role. We got to upgrade that position, and I think we did with Hearns. I think you got to go. Depending on what happens with Dez, they keep him and Hearns 1-2 punch. Let T. Will just be your substitute backup guy.
Yeah, he got the injury. I've been done with Terrence Williams. He's still body catching, good route runner, but whenever the ball's near him, I just get nervous. I really do.
Yep, me too.
Joe, when the Cowboys, more likely to take at 19 a guard or a linebacker?
At 19, a guard or a linebacker. I'm gonna say guard right now, still, because I still don't feel comfortable with Marcus Martin. Okay, if we played a game tomorrow, you would have to think Marcus Martin is your starting left guard. I don't know, man.
Chaz Green doesn't do it for you inside, no.
What's that?
You don't want to give Chaz Green a chance inside.
Chaz Green's plays scared, man. When he didn't want to play Aaron Donald and chickened out with the supposed injury, I was done with him. I was like, that's it. That is it, man. That's it.
And then you win. Yo, if y'all want to laugh, go to Joe's. That's why I love YouTube. You can go back and go to Joe's Atlanta recap. It was the funniest thing, dude.
Oh,
and
man.
I laughed. When I say, Joe, I laughed at that video for I think I laughed at that video for like 30 minutes. Because it was, number one, that's really when Dak's clock and everything just started to just go to hell.
That was it, man. Yeah,
that was it, dude. And like, Chaz Green was so bad. It was so bad.
Dude, I've never seen anything like that ever, dude. It was crazy. Like, is this a prank? What is this? I was so lit, dude. I was so mad, dude. I couldn't believe it, dude. No adjustments. That game was awful, man. Just rethinking about it.
No, it's just like, are you serious, Chad? Like, and the face he was making on the side. Like, he didn't even care.
Yeah, man. It was like, what in the world?
Nah,
But
facts.
yeah, dude. But yeah, that's where I'm at with that, man. Like I have to if they don't go guard in the first, second round, I would think would have to give like a Braden Smith or Corbett or somebody good. But we don't. I mean, maybe Paul Alexander can elevate this guy like he did Andre Smith at Cincinnati and pull something together for him. I mean, we'll see.
Yeah, it's gonna. I don't know, Joe. I'm with team building and drafting and just turning the roster. I mean, look at Bill Belichick, dude. He's so. This is why Bill Belichick is just 2-3 steps ahead of the league. He flips players. He doesn't get attached to players. He doesn't. And even in this salary cap era, and people call him Belichick and all that crap, but
yeah.
With even, I mean, he just flipped Brandon Cooks because he wants picks. He could be. We don't now know. Now the league's on notice. Like, oh crap, what the hell is Belichick doing? Is he trying to draft Brady's replacement? Is he trying to draft Gronk's replacement? Like, but the league's on notice. When Bill moves, he moves so swift, and I kind of want to know, like, okay, Dallas, what is your plans? What are your plans? So Joe, I'm gonna segue into a smoking hot one for you, Joe.
All right, let's do it.
This is a teaser into my mock. Joe, Arizona sitting at 15. You have Tyron Smith constantly hurt. You have a Pro Bowl offensive line. You have Tyron Smith who's constantly hurt. Arizona's willing to give you their 1 and their 3. Take on Tyron Smith's contract. Would you do it?
No. No. No, I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't do it.
I couldn't get you to go, Joe?
Nah.
What if they go in there too?
Nah, I'm still keeping Tyron. Let's see. I will. He's still. Okay. I'm still keeping my boy. Yeah, still good.
Okay. You drafted him. You want to keep him. You paid him.
But I will say that this coming year is going to be very key for him. If we have another season where it's the same deal, then they have to get prepared and look for the replacement. But I'll give him one more year, man. If it's this chronic thing, then they got to protect themselves.
No, there it is, Joe. All I'm saying is this, right? You see with a guy like Bill, who he's not afraid to dangle and listen. And, obviously Brandon Cooks doesn't mean as much as Tyron Smith, but there's a guy who's always hurt. He's always, it's always some. So I was like, well, if you guys, you'll see my new mock, and I kind of did something crazy just to switch it up and think original and break the monotony of like the same players. All right, Joe, last one for these scenarios, because I just like, you're very realistic. So I'm like, if anybody who's knowing what's going on, and Joe will give me a straightforward answer. Joe, you go up. Who you getting, Derwin or Roquan? Did I ask you this already, Joe?
No, you hadn't asked me that one yet.
Yeah. I asked you covered, or just want to make sure.
No, I think, if it's between the two, I'm going to go Derwin James,
Okay. Joe, is there any interest for you in Minka? Just a quick question.
I mean, for me, he's one of those guys that if he falls, I would consider him. But he's not somebody that I'm, like, daydreaming about. I'm not like, hey, man, I got to have this guy. No, yeah.
Okay.
I got a quick one for you too, though. First, let me get one in here real quick for you. All right.
Nah, good. Give me as many as you want. That's fine.
So, talking about depth of we talked about linebacker getting kind of it's thin this year. So after the second round, third round, you're getting really thin at linebacker as far as prospects goes. I think defensive ends is probably the same, if not worse. So let me ask you this: let's say that. Let's say a team comes calling for DeMarcus Lawrence, and we'll give a straight up a first round pick for him, would you take that pick? And maybe it's a team in the 20s or somebody, or maybe it's Belichick there with that extra first. Maybe he wants to throw that pick and bring Lawrence there. Would you take that trade? Any trade?
Okay, what am I doing with Tyrone Crawford? How much do I love Taco? And am I gonna draft his replacement in this draft? So, am I gonna draft Harold Landry? You get a great video on him. Guys, go watch it. I watched it. It was great. Kind of a forgotten guy, Harold Landry is. If Marcus Davenport's sitting right there. Because, that's interesting, and I'll tell you why, Joe. DeMarcus Lawrence hasn't had, like, a super, just superb career.
Yeah, it's been up and down.
It's been very roller coaster-esque.
Right.
And last year he blew up, but I mean, before last year, we didn't even think he would be on the team this night right now.
Right on.
We thought you'd be moving on from him. Excuse me.
Yeah.
You didn't think that you would want to tag him, and obviously he goes out 14 sacks, best pass rusher in football. But has to keep doing it. That'd be interesting, Joe. If they gave me a third, I may have to do that with the one. I don't know if I do it for a straight one.
Mm-hmm.
But if you give me a third, so now I have more draft capital. Because now I got his contract off the books.
Yeah.
And I'm younger.
Yeah, man.
Try to play Taco, rotation, maybe, dare I say, Randy Gregory could give me something.
Interesting scenarios, man. No doubt.
Oh, that's a good one, Joe. Seriously. That's a good one. Now, I think for David Irvin, I'd do like a straight one. But for E-Law, I'd probably have to get a 1 and a 3.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so that's going to be interesting. Joe, quick question. Real quick, this is something totally off the wall. Who has more say in that room? Will McClay or Stephen Jones?
Yeah, it's got to be Stephen Jones.
Is Stephen doing the homework that Will is?
I think Will McClay has Stephen's ear. So if Will McClay says to Stephen, hey, this guy, this and that, I think Stephen Jones is more likely to take that into more consideration than Jerry Jones would. And that's what I like about how little by little we're seeing Stephen take more control of this team as far as like free agency and building these boards, man. So, but yeah, that's what I think. I don't know. What do you think, Blitz?
No, I think you're right. I think Will McClay has a lot of say. So I guess you gotta preface it like that. It's the air thing. It's, hey, Stephen. I think in a war room, Stephen, listen, my guys are willing to go to bat for this guy. Boom, boom, boom. Trust me type deal. I think the only way to Jerry, and like, so then obviously the hierarchy is Jerry. I think that Jerry, I think that Jerry would draft Calvin Ridley. I think he would pull rank and say, I don't want a linebacker. It's not flashy enough. I do as much as because he already got, and it worked with Zach Martin, but I think if we were sitting there, I think he would take Calvin Ridley. If Baltimore doesn't take him, I think he would take Calvin.
Hey, man, you know what's funny about that, dude, is I was actually thinking that exact same dang thing. I was thinking this could be like a Manziel, Zach Martin situation where it's like the Flash, dude, because, he's looking at it at all the angles. He's looking about jerseys, getting people excited. But, a lot of people, man, a lot of fans don't want that pick, man. I did that in one of my mocks, and people just hated that pick. But it's the scenarios that me and you talk about, man. You know what I'm talking about? That's what we're doing with our mocks. So.
I do. I'm just telling you, man. Like, I'm just telling you, though, like, when it comes to Jerry, because he remembers that Thanksgiving game where it's like Randy Moss is just running up and down the field on Dallas' defense. And it's like, and I love Greg Ellis, but it's like Randy Moss. It's apples. And it's like Randy Moss, Greg Ellis. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
There's somebody watching this video who doesn't even know who Greg Ellis is.
There is no doubt that there's more than a couple of people that don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And so, B, like, dude, if if there's a cut up of Calvin and they just see him streaking down the field and running past defenders, I'm telling you, Jerry Jones loves receivers. That's why he loves Dez. That's why he loved T.O. He loved it, man. Big time. Big plays. He loves that. Linebacker, cool. Oh, stop the run. But Jerry wants that ball in the air. He wants Zeke running down the field, you know?
Yeah. No.
Woo! I can't wait to get with you, Joe. We're going to be talking some football, buddy.
Yeah,
man,
it's going to be a good time, dude. I can't wait to get out there.
Yeah, no, facts. That's it. I think that's it for tonight, huh, Joe?
Yeah, that's it, man. That's it, everybody. So, we just want to, bring that to you guys. Just, don't get fixated on somebody. As much as you like a player, don't get fixated.
No, 110%. Don't get fixated. Don't. It's gonna be a ball, man. It's gonna be a ball.
It is. It really is. We really don't know. There's clues, but at the end of the day, you just don't know what these guys are gonna do.
As much as you can be open-minded, be open-minded.
That's it. That is absolutely it. And on that note, that's it for this episode, guys. We appreciate you guys. Put your comments in there. We read them. We'll try to reply when we can. And as usual, guys, continue to like, subscribe, and share this video and our channels. Peace.